Yo, hey, we're back. Same thing as last time. I'm procrastinating too much in making videos, but stuff's happening too quick. I can't wait anymore. So, look, we're going to go through Epstein stuff. Listen, the Epstein list did not delete itself. That's all I'm going to say. Actually, I'm going to say more. Listen, it's crazy. We're going to listen to these videos. I got a bunch of videos. Listen, they can't lie to our faces. We're not dumb. Watch. Worst cover up in my lifetime. Voidzilla. Coffeezilla. This guy's good at getting information. I've given it a little bit of time. People have made videos, and now we can actually go through it because there's so much that they're trying to get us to just not believe when we know it's true. They can't lie to our faces after years and years of this. So let's go through and let's see what's going on.
This is the worst cover-up of my lifetime, the Epstein case. The reason I'm talking about it so much is because if you can get away with this, you really can get away with anything. If the government can tell people to not believe what they just said a few months ago and have everyone be fine with that, that's just a level of gaslighting that I refuse to be.
No, yeah. They've been saying things for months. For months, they've been laying it out. Hey, we're gonna do something. We got this stuff on our desk. Vote us in so we can handle this. They've been telling us for a long time.
Part of. Never forget, they just promised us names in the release of the Epstein files.
Breaking news right now. You're going to see some Epstein information being released.
What kind?
A lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information.
But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, this guy, I had other things lined up, but he actually has it right here. Okay, so that lady, where do I have it? That lady right there is a counselor. Well, what the heck? Where's my videos? This one. Boom. What's her name? Alina Habba. So Alina Habba, if I could position her, she's an attorney general. I think I saw she's an attorney general for what? For New Jersey? And she's a counselor for the president. Why is nothing popping up? Watch. Alina, just so we're all aware and we're not getting news from random people. Boom. Alina Habba, counselor to the President of the United States. This lady right here, she's an attorney for the District of New Jersey. I think I saw Attorney General, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, she's up there, and she's on the U.S. Attorney District of New Jersey, Department of Justice. Like, this lady is official as it gets, right? He's about to play the video. You know what? I have the video, but let's go to his. Let's go to his just because we got it. And we can listen.
That will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden
My bad.
And kept secret and not been held accountable.
Yeah, well,
there are so many people that have not been held accountable. No, she says more in the video. She actually, if I go to it, where was it? See, I'm getting lost again.
In this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
They have listen, obviously the flight logs, this dude had a whole island for this kind of stuff. His plane was called the Lolita Express. Like, everybody understood what was going on. The president at the time, Bill Clinton, when he was president, the dude was the sitting president. Why is he flying to that island so much? Why is he jumping on his plane, on Epstein's plane, instead of getting on his Air Force One, right? And she's right here saying that, yeah, it's going to be crazy.
I don't see how it's not shocking.
I don't see how it's not shocking.
There were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process.
Yep.
Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability. We have seen for so many years, Pierce, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway. We don't take it home.
Yeah. Yeah, they want to say, oh, there's something right here, but then they lay low and they don't really bring things out. And then after a couple years, they say, oh, nothing to see
I really
here.
believe that now with Cash and Pam, there will be accountability.
Now with Cash and Pam, that's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought, right? But then here's the thing. You know what? I didn't prep it. Cash was talking a bunch of crap about how he was going to do stuff and he was going to be the man in charge. But then look at him.
No, we're not going to let that go. We're going to investigate it. I said it, Dan Bongino said, we've reviewed all the information and the American public is going to get as much as we can release.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Think? Let's play out the law.
Guys, it's been years and years. What do you mean as much as we can release? What do you mean as much as we can release? We haven't released anything.
Logical conclusion to this. Do you think that myself, Bongino, and others would participate in hiding information about Epstein's growth?
Yes.
Yeah. You see?
Yes. No.
Listen, he said it for years that he had stuff, or not for years, for like a good while, the entire time he wanted to get voted in. And then now he's saying there's nothing to see? Ridiculous. We're going to get to Pam Bondi.
Apparently, there are no names to be given. No list, no blackmail. Epstein has now been pushed as a lone trafficker. It's the lone trafficker theory, guys. Essentially, the government's memo that they just released contradicts everything we've seen before and now basically implies that Epstein was trafficking to himself and Ghislaine Maxwell was trafficking to Epstein.
Imagine being able to build
commercials.
Just by thinking about
commercials.
Meat-based
Listen, commercials
44.
aren't even that bad.
And there was no other blackmail or trafficking going on. That's what this memo essentially.
So it's saying that Ghislaine was doing all this just for Jeffrey. Is what, you know what? We're going to break it down. We're going to go step by step. That's what they're telling us. Now let's reverse engineer it. I imagine he's about to reverse engineer that statement.
Implies his wealth and his power then would be just from his skill as a New York financier.
I'm talking about Jeff Epstein, the New York.
Yeah, where'd he get his money?
Basically, he was the world's greatest tax advisor by day and the world's greatest trafficker at night to himself. And the rich and powerful people who all flocked to him and to his island had no idea of this double life. That
yeah,
really
that's what they
is
would
kind
want
of
us
the
to
heart
think.
of the modern theory, is that just all Epstein by himself, and then his friends just were there for his tax advice, despite not being a tax professional or a lawyer. Not only that, another huge revelation is the fact that really the government
He was
has
like a substitute teacher
increased
for
the
a
number
long
of
time or
victims
something.
and decreased the number of perpetrators, right? We had the idea that there were these other perpetrators for a while, that they were just redacted because the government was building cases. Now we got pretty clear statements that there isn't evidence to bring future cases on third parties. But if you look at the original 2019 indictment.
Okay, yeah. So it says that they didn't have anything, but the indictment says 2019, dozens of victims as set forth herein. Over the course of many years, Jeffrey Epstein and defendant sexually exploited and abused dozens of minor girls at his home in Manhattan, New York, Palm Beach, Florida, among other locations. Let's see.
It says dozens of victims. This is from Ken Klippenstein. But the Epstein review says over 1,000
That's true. We're going to get to that because that's what Pam Bondi said. She said it was in the thousands, is what Pam Bondi was saying.
Victims. So what happened, guys? And by the way, in the interim, they increased the number to 200 to 250.
200 victims.
You know what? Let's go through this. Because this lady right here, Pam Bondi, she was saying a bunch of stuff, right? She came out and said, hey, that basically, where's my video? Do I not have the video? I can get the video. Which one did I already see? Let's use this one. I can go to my history. Hold on. I need to... Let me get to it. Don't even worry about my history. My history is a bunch of BS. Watch. This is what I can do. OMG Pam Bondi. And here we go. This is the video I'm looking for. So look, right here, it's talking about, he's going to talk about how she would not have even mentioned that if they didn't get her in like one of his little kind of stings kind of thing.
The United States, Pam Bondi, was at the White House and disclosed what she represented as brand new information in relation to Jeffrey Epstein. The existence of tens of thousands of videos featuring little children.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
There's tens of thousands of videos with Epstein with children or other people with children, right?
Now, this is the first time an official has publicly acknowledged that videos of Epstein and his victims exist. What you may not know is just 9 days prior, the Attorney General had a very similar conversation with a total stranger in a restaurant.
Do you know when the Epstein files are
See, look at this. Look at this.
We hope soon. The FBI's been.
The FBI has the files, they say.
No, you know what it is? There are tens and thousands.
Tens and thousands of videos with little kids.
So they have to go through every one.
In the past, officials have spoken about the, quote, mountain of evidence in the Epstein case, but they've never, previous to that moment, acknowledged on the existence of videos of, quote,
that's true,
little kids.
That's true.
Just a few days later, at
they
2
went and they
p.m.
got
on
the all the different files, the hard drives. Someone did, right? But then right there, she admitted, hey, we have that. So then here, look. He's gonna send an email to them. Hey, here we're with O'Keefe Media Group. We're doing some Epstein stuff. We want to know about this tens and thousands of videos with little kids. Boom, you see, they got her. And this has not been reported publicly, right? We would love the opportunity to sit down with the Attorney General and get her further clarification. This is gold. This is gold because they would not have told us. She came out and like started talking like she has a bunch of stuff to say. She would not have said it if O'Keefe Media Group didn't come out and figure it out, because they were about to blast it to the world.
Sent the AG's office the text of the recording. We asked why this detail had not been disclosed to the public.
Yeah.
But was instead being told to a random stranger at a restaurant.
I don't know why they do that.
The Attorney General used almost the exact same language as she did with the stranger in the restaurant. Language that we shared with her press office.
There are tens and thousands of videos.
Tens and thousands of videos with
There
little
are
kids.
tens of thousands
See?
of videos.
So now we circle back to that other video. Now she's talking about it. There's tens and thousands of videos.
Of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, we hesitated to publish this story, but believe, like we did yesterday, that the public has a right to know. And this one raises serious questions. On one hand, why did our country's highest law enforcement official share this information first not with the American people, but with
a
a
stranger.
self-described nanny at brunch? But more importantly, why was this information held back in the first place? Does this show that a government apparatus is still working behind the scenes to protect powerful people involved in the scandal? Based upon the response to our Epstein story yesterday.
Oh, no, based upon how they're talking right now, that actually is a good point.
It's clear that the American people want answers, and they want accountability.
Yeah, accountability. They're abusing little kids, dude. Look at her. She said she has it right now.
So we have well over 250 actually.
So we went from dozens to 200 to over.
Yeah, we went from dozens to 200 to over 10,000 or tens of thousands.
Over 1,000 in the span of basically a year.
Yeah.
In terms of victims, we 10x the number of.
And they had all that since the beginning. You did not hear about a bust where they found new hard drives. You did not hear about a new home of his that they raided. They've had all this stuff for years.
Victims. But now there's no perpetrators. Like the perpetrators have been reduced. That is the crazy thing about what they're implying here, what this lone trafficker theory is pushing forward. It's also strange because previously
Epstein also provided information to the FBI as agreed upon. Case agent advised that no federal prosecution will occur in the matter as long as Epstein continues to uphold his agreement with the state of Florida. Wait, what? He's currently being prosecuted by the state of Florida and is complying with all conditions of his plea, state of Florida. What is he providing?
In a court filing is said to have provided information to the FBI as agreed upon. Case agent advised that no federal prosecution will occur in this matter as long as Epstein continues to uphold his agreement with the state of Florida. So apparently there was some deal where Epstein was providing information to the FBI. What information? We don't know because no one else was involved. There's also the simple fact that if you go to the FBI records, what they call the vault, most of the files are just heavily redacted. So the idea that we got some transparency wave is literally a joke. Yeah. Yes, it is true. There's no Epstein list where there's like names written down. but names exist in documents, on
Yep.
videos, and
Yep.
images.
Yep.
And they're all redacted. What's going on here? They're going to say, "Oh, it's all for the victims," right? But
no, the victims want this to be fixed. They want people to be brought and held accountable.
it's not all victim names. In addition to that, this lone trafficker theory
They
is
can
already
redact
on
the
shaky
victims'
grounds when you
names.
think about Prince Andrew's settlement with Virginia
Oh,
Giuffre.
Prince Andrew's settlement. Did he give her 16 million? Is that what I just saw?
About Prince.
He gave 16 million. Oh, and also Virginia Giuffre. If you pay attention to how she passed away, that was the wildest thing ever. Listen, or Virginia Giuffre. Let's type that out right now. Look, because what happened to her, it made no sense. She died of suicide. Listen, that's the first thing that they do to people. Listen, no. Giuffre, look, on May 1st, Giuffre's father released a statement discounting the suicide explanation and posting that somebody got her. This is just on the top. This is AI, whatever, coming up with stuff. But if you watched it, whenever she got hit by a bus, let me see. She was just driving and she was hit by a bus, and then then she posted a video that she was going to die in a car accident, not a bus accident. Look, it says she was hospitalized, with a publicist later confirming she was. Listen, let me see. It was just a car accident, minor crash between a car and a bus. The police reports indicated a minor crash between a car and a bus. What? I don't think she was... Listen, this is dumb. Do you understand what they're trying to say right here? They're saying, hey, she wasn't hit by a bus. It was a car accident. So her car was hit by a bus? So she was hit by a bus. What are you talking about? But look, she was hit by a bus. And then she made this last video where she's like, oh, I have internal bleeding. I'm just going to die. But she did not make that video from a hospital. She did not make that video from... Listen, is it even here? Can I find it? Listen, I can find it and drop it in another video. But yeah, she was all busted and she was just at home saying, oh, I guess I'm injured. I'm just going to die. Dude, go to a hospital if that was the case. But she didn't go to the hospital, and she said she was going to die from internal bleeding, and then all of a sudden she dies from suicide? I thought she was going to die from that hit. And then she dies from suicide. Look, the dad just said no. But you know what? I'm getting off topic.
Andrew's settlement with Virginia Giuffre.
It's on topic,
where he
but
paid
I'm gonna keep
$16 million to make civil sexual assault allegations go away. Now, of course, it's worth saying that he did not admit to guilt. This was a settlement. But that is...
Listen, a settlement of $16 million to just make it go away? No. If that was a lie, I would never let that stay on me. That would be a stain to my character forever. If I didn't do that, I'm not paying a dime, and I'm fighting that. But the dude knew he was in the wrong, and he freaking settled.
Is what you're always going to have with these rich and powerful people. In the same way, you also have Leon Black, who reportedly paid $158 million.
What? Leon Black paid $150 million to Jeffrey Epstein's Virgin Islands company.
$1 million over 5 years to Jeffrey Epstein for...
Who's Leon Black? I don't know. Let's keep up so I'm not like just lost when I'm doing this. Leon Black, co-founder of Apollo Global Management. What does that do? Equity, whatever. Equity group, so they freaking work with money and finance and stuff. I don't know. Private equity investor. So whatever. Rich dude. So rich dude's giving him all kinds of money. Why? I don't know.
Tax advice. And guess what? Leon Black, billionaire, also paid the U.S. Virgin Islands $62 million in cash as part of a settlement, a non-prosecution. where they wouldn't go after him for anything from, quote, any and all claims of any nature whatsoever, specifically related to Jeffrey Epstein. It's worth noting that $15 million of this cash payment will be going to counseling programs and activities or mental health services. You also have Jess Staley, the former boss of Barclays. He directly admitted to having sex with a member of Epstein's staff.
I mean, but the staff,
which you would expect if someone was running a trafficking operation. Although, I just have to say that there was a statement that this was entirely consensual, and I'm not saying anything about that.
Yeah,
I'm simply
staff's
saying the
gonna be an
idea
adult.
that Epstein was just trafficking for himself is unlikely to be true, in my opinion. Later, Staley wrote to Epstein, say hi to Snow White.
Say hi to Snow White. What character would you like next? Beauty and the Beast. Well, one side is available.
Epstein replied,
I don't
what
understand.
character would you like next? Staley
what do you mean?
responded, Beauty and the
They
Beast.
have him in the...
And then Jeffrey Epstein said, well, one side is available. Obviously, some type of coded message. You can read into that for yourself. But all of this is public. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what makes the government's memo so infuriating.
Oh, that's a dude asking, like, hey, like for showing that it's being trafficked. So the dude wrote him, hey, that was fun. Say hi to Snow White. I mean, it's all in code, so it's like I can't really understand. But let's see that. Let's just understand this. That was fun. Say hi to Snow White. So they had someone portray Snow White, and then he says, what character would you like next? What do you mean, what character would you like next? What is he doing where he's tied to people? What do you mean, what character would you like next? That I'm not stupid. That's him asking, how would you like the next girl to dress up, right? Doesn't necessarily mean that they're underage, but with all this stuff, we have to assume that they were underage.
Epstein say that's what makes the government's memo so infuriating.
Stupid.
So much reporting has already been done. These settlements with powerful figures under denials, yes, but also under very questionable circumstances make just a complete denial and statement that all of this was just Epstein impossible to believe. In September 2009, Epstein also emailed a woman named Irina to tell her that Jess Staley is staying in the Berkeley Hotel in London tonight. Staley emailed Epstein the next day to say, I should have taken your offer.
I mean, I don't understand that.
There's also this book by one of the 60 Minutes correspondents called A Ticking Clock.
Who Epstein, because I had a sense of who Epstein was, I surmised that he wired his homes with security cameras that videotape his guests having sex. A fact later confirmed by one of the underage women he seduced. So I played a hunch. I don't know where this is coming from, but he had cameras and he had underage women there. Come on, I want the tapes. I told Maxwell at the Regency bar. I know he was videotaping everyone. I want the tapes of Trump with the girls. Ooh, she didn't deny the existence of tape, but said, I don't know where they are. Ask Epstein. The fate of the country is at stake. Trump could be elected president, and how would you feel if those tapes emerged after he was in office? She gave me a stern look and pointed a finger in my face. I am the daughter of a press baron. I know the way you people think. If you have one side, you must do the other. If you get the tapes on Trump, you have to do Clinton. Oh, damn. Listen, I would rather this country go through a time of turmoil because so many people are arrested and taken away that we have to have all kinds of new senators, all kinds of new people in Hollywood that we know aren't perverts. And I think that would be better for the nation, right? If we're going to do fucking tariffs to freaking make it so we have our own infrastructure inside of the U.S., I would rather do something so we don't have a bunch of abusers inside the U.S.
Where he says that he met
I just read that.
I know he was videotaping everyone. I want the tape of Trump with the girls. She didn't deny the existence of the tapes, but gave him a
would
stern
like
look
all of it to be
Clinton.
released.
Now, again,
It's
what
gonna
you
be
make
everybody.
of a third-hand source like this, talking to Ghislaine Maxwell, who apparently doesn't deny that some of these tapes exist, was she even telling the truth or just playing some game? Either way, this was
commercials. Listen, commercials aren't that bad once you get used to them. You know what? That was a nice dog. That's a nice donut. Nice people. Come on, commercial. I guess I could pay for it.
Red Bull Zero. Zero sugar.
2 commercials.
100% wings with.
What's wrong with you?
All known about, not just by people after the fact, but allegedly by people during the fact. This is from Mark Epstein. It's sourced from Jeffrey Epstein.
Who's Mark Epstein? Oh, it's his younger brother. Okay, so he says, if I said what I know about both candidates, they'd have to cancel the election. Ooh, between Trump and Hillary Clinton. Yeah, frazzle drip. Never forget frazzle drip with Hillary. Anyways, dude, oh no. That's not good. And that means that the whole thing's corrupted, if that's the case.
Quote, if I said what I know about both candidates, they'd have to cancel the election.
Ooh, gross.
That's what Jeffrey told me in 2016.
And I would rather them do that.
Not even Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly were claiming this was all just between them. They were constantly insinuating that there were compromising things on various powerful people. What's funny is that Trump himself, even before he was in a position to declassify this stuff, had accused other powerful people of doing these things.
That's what I'm saying.
Bill Clinton. Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. That island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew.
You also have the fact that Jeffrey Epstein was in touch with other convicted.
You know what? We're gonna go and check it out because look, we saw Pam Bondi talking, right? We saw Pam Bondi talking about how, freaking. Did I lose the video? No, this one. Hey, where's my video? Okay, look.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Let me make sure it's centered right. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so this is a video about Trump when he's asked about this stuff, right? Him and Pam Bondi. They were asked about this. I guess Marco Rubio's right there. That's his name, right?
It left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney.
They're asking, did he ever work for the government? Did he ever do anything?
Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there's...
And that's the rumor. Wait, sorry for pausing it. That's the rumor, is that he was working with these intelligence agencies so that if there was any blackmail going on, they were the ones doing it and they know what's going on.
A minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the staff.
Yeah, sure. If
could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
No.
This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking...
No, that's
we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things.
That's the biggest L. That's the biggest L of his administration.
And are people still talking about this guy?
Yes, we're talking about it.
That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein. At a time
Obviously,
like
we're
this,
asking about it.
Having some of the greatest success and also tragedy.
Guys, multiple things could be ready or true at one time. There's a lot of stuff he's doing that's good. Okay, there's a lot of emergencies going on right now, right? Natural disasters. Okay, it does not take away from the point that you have this whole system in play where they're abusing little girls so that they can have blackmail on each other. Little girls and little boys. Don't forget about Diddy. And his trial was funny. And all of a sudden, if they act like this, they're going to come out and be like, hey, Diddy never even knew what was going on in his party. Imagine if they say something like that, all of a sudden. That's how stupid they think we are.
In Texas. It just seems like a desecration. But you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said I was asked a question about the client list.
Yeah.
And my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed.
It's sitting on my desk to be reviewed.
Along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey.
So this lady really wants us to believe that she gets a file on her desk, and before she even opens it and looks at it, she's going to go on the news and talk about, oh, I got this file. She's going to have tens and thousands of videos that she was not telling us about, that O'Keefe had her come out and say, and so she said it out of her lips in a freaking restaurant. So he has her admit to it. She admits to it, and then now she's going to say, oh, well, in the time that we had, they had like years to look through all those videos, right? So between that time and right now, she actually looked at the videos now, and oh, it was just downloaded off the internet. Well, you know what? Why aren't they using those videos and tracking down whoever's hurting these kids? There's tens and thousands of videos. Where are the arrests? What have they found out? Let's keep listening how stupid they are.
Jeffrey Epstein, child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being
never going to
agent,
see the light of day.
I have no knowledge about that. We can get
Listen,
back.
they shouldn't, obviously they shouldn't see the light of day to like fucking to like the world, but they have actual teams of people who help get kids safe and arrest the predators, and they do have to go through this stuff to actually see what's going on, right? You can't just accuse people, but they have the videos. So yeah, it would be whatever specialized teams that are desensitized to that after all this time. I don't know. But you can go through it. For her to say that she had all that stuff on her desk and she didn't go through it one bit, and then she ran to the American people to tell us, oh, this is the situation. It means that you can't trust her off the bat on anything. Oh, I have this file on my desk. Well, did you read it? It's one or the other. It's either she's lying to us right now, which she's lying to us right now, or she's not looking into things at all. But they're just lying to us.
To you on that, and the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter.
So there's a minute off the counter, and it's not definitive, but they're going to draw the ultimate conclusion that it was just him. Dude, he was on suicide watch. They were supposed to be watching and checking on him. He was supposed to have another person in there with him constantly. There was supposed to be 2 security guards walking through. They were supposed to have cameras recording the hallways. And all of a sudden, they're missing footage. All of a sudden, certain cameras weren't working. All of a sudden, those security guards fell asleep, both of them. All of a sudden, they moved the other guy in the cell. They moved him out, which they're not supposed to do. That's directly breaking protocol. When the coroner... Who is it? The freaking guy who goes and inspects how he died? The one that the government got said, oh, it's a suicide, but then the family ordered one. And he said, yo, these bones are not supposed to break in a hanging. These bones break in a strangulation.
And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset. And every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that.
We're looking for that video. He died years ago. Is she going to tell me, oh, we're still looking for that video? In all this time, you couldn't have gone down there and asked for the video? It's either we got the video or we don't got the video right now. Oh, we're still investigating it. Shut up if you think we're so stupid.
Minute is missing every night, and that's it on Epstein.
And that's it on Epstein. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Did Larry Nasser, he was writing letters.
Who's
so
Larry Nasser?
The idea, once again, that he was just by himself, off by himself, doing things on his island by himself, and then taking calls with people like Bill Gates simply for philanthropic advice, really pushes the bounds of belief.
Yeah.
Don't forget, a close associate of Bill Gates.
Wait, do I have this thing centered right? My bad. Let me center it. Okay, so let's go back to this video.
Was named a fallback executive.
Wait. Over time, Gates and his team realized Epstein's capabilities and ideas were not legitimate, and all contact with Epstein was discontinued. You know what? We can go to that. This guy was actually prosecuted in Florida, and then for child prostitution, which, I mean, that's such a stupid way and a way to kind of make the girls victimized further, because they were abused. But because all of a sudden he gave them $100 or whatever after they were abused, they're like, no, that was prostitution. girls can't consent to prostitution. Little girls cannot consent to prostitution. So there'd be multiple things going on right there. He amended his will and named Mr. Nikolic as a fallback executor in the event that one of the two primary executors was unable to serve. I guess he declined. Anyways, let's keep listening. I don't even know.
On the will of Jeffrey Epstein, which he, by the way, said he was shocked by and he deeply regrets meeting Epstein. Bill Gates has said similar things to that effect. Of course, Bill Gates
No. That's what I was getting at. So Bill Gates had an interview where he's talking about how he regrets it. But then the interviewer was like, dude, I get you kind of regret it, but didn't you hang out with him after the fact? Like, you literally hung out with him after the fact. Like, you knew it was that, and then you still hung out with him. No, that was actually a crazy interview. That was actually wild. And that, let me get to it. Look at this. This is actually
wild. It was reported at that time that you had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors. What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hopes of raising money?
I had dinners with him.
Dinners, plural.
I regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said, would give to global health, which is a interest I have. Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction. Those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he.
Those meetings were a mistake, and they didn't result in what he was saying. Did you hear that? So it was talking about philanthropy, but it had nothing to do with philanthropy.
Look at his smile. Reported, and I cut them off. That goes back a long
and I cut them
time
off,
ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continued to meet with him over several years.
Boom. I cut him off. No. It was reported that you continued to meet with him over several years.
And that, in other words, a number of meetings.
That smug little grin he got.
What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, I've said I regretted having those dinners. There's absolutely nothing new on that.
So he just said, I cut ties with him. She said, no. You kept hanging out with him. And now all he says is, but I regret it.
Is there a lesson for you?
Is there? Oh, this is where it is. This is where it gets cryptic. Is there a lesson here? You met with this dude. You knew he was abusing these little girls, and you still hung out with him, and you still went to dinners with him. What message do you got?
Anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful. And I'm very proud of what we've done in philanthropy. Very proud of the work of the foundation. That's what I get up every day and focus on.
Was reported.
Yeah, that guy's wild. That guy's super wild. It's like, dude, when you learned about that stuff, what'd you do? Oh, I cut all ties. No, you didn't. Well, I regret it. That's nothing new. That's so stupid. Let's listen to this.
With Epstein after he was convicted of crimes. Previously, he told the Wall Street Journal,
I don't have any business relationship or friendship with him. No,
but
you actually
fact,
did.
He met multiple times with him at his Manhattan townhouse.
You went to dinner
now, once
with
again,
him
I have to
constantly.
say real quick, all of these people are innocent until proven guilty. All of them deny doing anything untoward.
Yeah, I know. And also, everybody left the Diddy parties early, if that's what we're playing,
My point is, there are already too many associations to make the lone trafficker theory make any sense.
This guy,
for example,
Jean-Luc Brunel, isn't he in charge of, what is it, Victoria's Secret? There's him. This guy was abusing girls. There's the Abercrombie and Fitch guy who was like abusing all the male models. Do you guys know about that?
Jean-Luc Brunel was somebody who apparently trafficked a bunch of people to Epstein, who himself abused.
Oh, yeah. So like this guy was even trafficking stuff. And then this guy ended up gifting him a house, didn't he? Was it this guy? He gave him a whole mansion, multi-million-dollar mansion. He just signed it over to him.
A bunch of women and even was charged for it. He was charged for some really
drugging
awful
and
things
raping
and
a
then later
17-year-old
found dead
girl
in his cell. Interestingly, Epstein was actually a financier of Brunel's modeling agency where a lot of this alleged abuse happened. So once again,
dude, they're literally just trafficking people to each other, dude. It's a whole freaking game. And it's evil.
Idea of the lone trafficker just doesn't make sense because Epstein's directly linked to another guy who is also abusing women. So after all of this, they're really asking you to believe the unbelievable. They're asking you to not believe what they've said about this case, both out of office and now in power. They're asking you to not believe public reporting linking Epstein to other known they're asking you not to believe suspicious circumstances regarding settlements of powerful people. They're asking you to believe that Epstein was just the greatest tax advisor and financial advisor on the planet, that all of these billionaires needed.
It's like he saved them so much money that they're giving him millions. How much billions is he saving them that they're giving him millions? That makes no sense.
To consult, despite the fact that there are entire organizations built around providing the same services as this without the, links to crimes. They're asking you to believe that when people are talking about Snow White and Beauty and the Beast, they're referencing Disneyland. And they're...
What ties does he have to Disneyland? Are people believing that? I know that's in code somehow.
Especially asking you to believe that they have found 900 new victims since reviewing these files and exactly 0 new perpetrators. So
yeah. They found almost 1,000 new victims and it was all Epstein? You're saying it was all Epstein? That guy was abusing his own people. The John whatever, Luck Brunel, that guy was the only guy abusing the girls in Victoria's Secret. The Abercrombie and Fitch guy, what's that guy? Let me see. What's that guy's name? Abercrombie and Fitch. Owner. Arrested. For sex trafficking. Former Abercrombie and Fitch arrested for sex trafficking. Dude, these people, there's too much that's going on that's been proven for them to just say, oh, there's nothing to see here. There's no dots to connect.
I'm just not buying it personally. I find it insulting to the intelligence of every single person who's ever looked at this story. And yeah, it really makes me feel like this was a appropriate time to launch a crime is legal merch collection, to be honest. So yeah, this is probably my last video on this for a while, but just disgusting.
Yeah, so that's basically it. And then look, you got all these other people. I guess I only have certain ones right here. Jeffrey Epstein news is crazy. This guy's freaking out about it.
I'm sure all of you have seen this by now, but I have to yap about it. It is infuriating. New information just dropped from the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. If you want to call it that, I don't think that nomenclature applies to this circus that's being
We're not going to watch this whole video, don't worry.
It's a clown show.
It's a clown show. Look, this guy sees it's the stupidest thing ever. You have
I don't think that we should ever stop complaining about it.
Yeah.
Never stop complaining.
Never stop complaining. Epstein didn't kill himself. Look, everybody, I don't even know this video. Trump is not involved. I don't know if that's people running defense. I don't know, whatever. The way that Trump handled that was ridiculous. Watch this. Watch this. Ben Shapiro fully accepts. Let's watch this guy. Let's watch this guy. What's he got to say? What do you got to say, Ben? It's getting there. Hold on.
We now have the answers. And the problem is this. People who never hedged their bets, people who never at any point suggested to you that they don't have data to back up the speculation.
Guys, they have the videos. They have the things. We have enough to connect dots, Ben.
That the speculation was in and of itself the conclusion that if you speculate without evidence, that amounts to an actual conclusion to an investigation, they're going to be very upset today because it turns out that the DOJ and the FBI have concluded that Epstein didn't have a client list and died by suicide.
Dude. And yeah, the freaking government said that, hey, this freaking vaccine's going to prevent spreading of the disease. They told us there's no myocarditis. The government told us the Tuskegee experiments never happened. The government told us that MK Ultra never happened because they're protecting themselves. Are you serious, Ben? Yeah, look at this. I know it. And listen, I don't need to watch those videos because that's gross. But I need them to be honest and help us catch these bad guys.
By Axios. Now, again, does this put to bed like all inquiries? Of course not. People can continue to speculate as much as they want. And I think there's still open questions here regarding how did Epstein make his money? But that's a very serious question.
Okay. Can you not put one and one together, Ben? How did he make all this money? How did he end up with mansions? How did he end up with the private island? By just helping people with their taxes.
And the speculation for a long time was he made his money from blackmail. But the DOJ and the FBI, again, run by people like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi are telling you, I'm not telling you, they're telling you, people who are members of the Trump administration, people you elected and put into these positions.
Dude, that's a play to authority. They were the ones telling us that they had all this stuff. Pam Bondi was saying that she had all this stuff. The way that she's behaving sounds like someone who's been told, hey, we can't let this information out. It'll destabilize things too much. Oh, it'll cause this. It'll cause that. So we need to not release this stuff. That's how it feels. And for you right here to just fall for it all hook, line, and sinker, I had more respect for you from like before that. And now it's like, dude, I can't trust what you say now if you're going to take that route.
To get you the truth on this matter are telling you that he didn't, in fact, he was not murdered. He did not keep a client list. And he did not blackmail powerful figures. Okay, right? That is the thing that they are saying.
Yeah, and every person left the Diddy party early. Is that what you're telling me, Ben?
They are saying this. If you're willing to throw that over and claim they're lying, then I'd like to see you present your evidence that they are.
Ben, they were saying that Biden was fine. There was official things. Biden's fine. And they could have asked us, hey, where's your evidence? And we could point to where he was mumbling and bumbling. And you'd say, oh, that's not official evidence. Dude, we're not stupid. We can pay attention to things. To just try to switch it over to us, that's the stupidest thing ever. I'm not in the DOJ. Put me over there. Put me in the FBI. Let me look at that stuff. And then I'll tell you.
Are in fact lying. Because I know Dan. I don't think that Dan Bongino is lying to me.
Okay, dude.
I know Kash Patel a little bit. I don't think Kash Patel is lying.
Dude, I'm not going to base all my freaking beliefs on how much of a personal relationship you have with these guys and how friendly you guys are when you're around each other. I'm not going to base my thoughts off of that, Ben.
To me. I don't think these people are lying to me. Which means that if somebody else continues to claim that they're lying, they ought to provide their evidence.
Okay, but what about their earlier statements? Pam Bondi, when she had all those videos, when she had all the files and stuff. It's one or the other, Ben. Either they're tricked right now or captured right now or told that they can't shake the system, or they give false information off the bat and you can't trust them. Ben.
Point. And now is the point at which the facts on the ground have changed. And so either you ought to shift your opinion based on the facts that have now emerged, or you ought to acknowledge that this was never a fact-based inquiry in the first place.
Ben, they used to kick people off being online when they said that you could have ivermectin, that shit helped. Ben, they said that was false. And then what? A bunch of people started getting prescribed it and they had to change their mind. Ben, how many lies have they said in the past 4 or 5 years? How many lies have been shot to us? We're not falling for, oh, this is the official narrative. No, you have to show me. Whatever.
No, I don't think I will.
I don't think I will. No, it's actually tragic. It's honestly actually tragic, the fact that they're doing all that, you know? And that these guys...
You probably know Vistaprint for business cards, because we've printed them.
Don't make a noise. Listen, these guys... Yeah, I think that something's happening. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but these guys are all of a sudden not telling us the truth and acting like I don't know, like we're unable to comprehend things, and they can just tell us BS. But I'm not falling for it. You shouldn't fall for it. And we got to keep up with this stuff. Literally, we got to make noise and not let this die out. Because Epstein's list didn't delete itself. Epstein didn't delete himself. Virginia Giuffre did not delete herself. And we got to be vocal about it. So that's it. That's it for now. That's your PSA. And hopefully I'll have more in the future. But yeah, this thing's moving too fast. And I want to catch people in their words. So with that, I'll leave you guys. Freaking enjoy your day. Keep it real. This PSA. Peace.